you just hear this?
It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.
It's 8:06, and Gilbert Gottfried is here with us in the studio at the Q. Good morning.
Yes.
It's so good.
I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance to clap.
Yeah. Let me do it again.
Okay,
Gilbert
sorry.
Gottfried is here with us this morning at Q1043.
Boy, listen to that crowd.
Well, you've been hearing the sound of applause since you were 15 years old.
Yes.
And, I mean, that just...
And this is the most applause I've ever gotten.
Well,
yes.
I mean, really, you actually started doing stand-up in clubs when you were 15, when you were too young to,
Be there.
partake in any of the
Exactly.
activities that took place there, and entertaining an adult audience of inebriated people, and they liked you.
I guess.
Well, they must have. The rest is you're a major
it's hard
star.
to say. I might have just been too stupid to know I was bombing.
No, but you could not have been bombing. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried, you are a very successful guy. You're one of the
Yes.
most famous comedians in the United States.
Extremely.
You're a very successful film actor. You've been in so many movies.
Yes, Ben-Hur.
Well, you were great in Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
But I heard that they cut the really hot scene that you had with Charlton
Passion
Heston.
of the Christ.
Yeah, I heard they cut a really hot scene that you were in there,
I
too.
was third Jew to the left.
And you're a dad.
Yes, but the child's black, which the doctor says is perfectly natural. And so...
You've been, but I mean,
Yes.
but that's a new role in your life.
No, a new role would be Willie Loman. Yeah, that would be a new role for me.
Death of a Salesman. You have.
Yes.
I remember. I've often heard that you wanted to play Willie Loman.
Yes, it was me and Mildred Dunnock. Were on Broadway several years ago.
But Bob Buckman from the Q was a contestant on Hollywood Squares when you were in one of the squares. Whoopi was the center square.
Yes.
And he has very fond memories of that day.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he does.
You don't?
Yeah, he makes no impression on me whatsoever. But I'm sure he was impressed being on the show. He got a free T-shirt on it.
Well, you even had a signature line from that show.
Oh, you fool.
Right.
Yeah, so he was on that one?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that was one of my classics.
Well, you know, it's when you have a signature line, that's a sign that you've, had a big impact.
Yeah, well, that and Shazam. I used to do on the Andy Griffith Show all the time.
And of course, the joke that can never be told or even hinted at on the radio.
No.
Yes, it
But
can-
you were so good. You were the best thing in the movie.
I was the best thing in the Aristocrats.
You were.
I heard it was between you and Bob Saget as the...
No, I was best.
You were the better one, though.
Gilbert
Okay.
was definitely better.
I say this unbiasedly.
Yeah.
And
much better.
Now, did you were in on that with Penn Jillette from the very beginning? I mean, he thought of you almost immediately before
yeah.
they started assembling everybody else, right?
He called me up and asked me to do it for free, which makes it his greatest magic trick.
It's just it wasn't free, was it?
Absolutely free.
Really?
Not a penny.
That was a feature film
And
that was
then
a big hit.
Then it hits all the theaters. It's a monster hit. And I go, boy, am I an idiot. Not like I need further proof.
And one of the things that I thought
Wow.
was really funny and showed your sense of humor,
Yes.
the Boston Phoenix, that would be their version of our Village Voice.
Mm-hmm.
The Boston Phoenix named you as the #1 guy on the list of the world's 100 unsexiest men.
That's right.
That was in 2006. And the following year, at your request,
Yes.
they renamed the award the Golden Gilbert in your honor.
Yes.
What an
I was-
honor.
That's really cool.
I was quite honored. Being unsexy is something I've worked on for years now.
Yeah, but that is such a cool way of taking care of something, asking them to name the award after you, as opposed to Sarah Jessica Parker whining about being mentioned in Maxim magazine's
That's
list
right.
of the unsexiest women.
And by the way, do you know they just named their unsexiest man of the year just yesterday? Do you know who it is this year?
The winner of the Golden Gilbert
Yes,
Award? Who?
Yes.
Is it still the Golden Gilbert?
Yes, it's the Golden Gilbert
Thank
Award.
Yes,
God.
of course, but
I got scared for a second.
it is the Rocket. It is Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens
Yes.
is the recipient of
Listen,
the Golden
yes,
Gilbert Award.
yes. They call him-
Can you read who are the other people?
I don't know who. We'll have to look that up. I don't know who the other
I
nominees
can't believe
were.
I didn't make the list every year.
We
But
got to
that-
look this up.
It's just wrong.
This just came out.
But that's great. The Cy Young Award and the Golden
Yeah,
Gilbert.
really?
Yes.
How about that?
That's pretty incredible. It's 8:11. We're with Gilbert Gottfried here at Q1043. Q1043 Beatles from the White Album, 8:18. What a coincidence with one of the most famous bird actors in the world in the studio for me to be able to tell you that it's a Parrot Head weekend on Q1043 as we present Jimmy Buffett June 12th at Madison Square Garden. Just keep it locked here all weekend for your cue to call to win your tickets before they go on sale. They do go on sale Monday morning at 9. You'll also qualify to win our grand prize visit Florida vacation to Key West. You'll fly AirTran Airways, ride on the Key West Express, and stay for 4 days at the Cypress House. Gilbert, you better be listening for the Parrot Head weekend.
Yes. The Parrot Head weekend.
Yes.
Or the Duck Head weekend I can listen for, too.
Yeah, I know that.
And any bird.
Yes, any bird. Well,
Yes.
you're a famous bird actor. Very
Yes.
famous. And we all know Aflac's been very good to you.
Oh, yes.
Very good to you. They're there to pay your bills if there's ever a time when
Yes.
you need them to. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
It's
except they've never given me a free insurance policy.
That should have been part of the deal.
It should have been.
It really should have been.
I got to talk to my agent about this.
Did your agent just call you and tell you they wanted you for the job, or did you have to audition?
I actually had to audition for it, and they said there were other actors auditioning, so it could have just as easily been Liam Neeson doing the part.
That must have been that must have been one wild day at the casting office. Now it's time for Gilbert Gottfried's shameless plugging.
Well, you got to act like it just came up in conversation, though.
Yes, I know. Okay, well, we'll bring it up in a moment then. Let me ask you this. You know Jay Leno.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and you've been a Tonight Show performer.
Yes.
His show is extraordinarily successful.
Yes.
I mean, it's tops in the ratings all the time.
Yes.
It's NBC's biggest moneymaker.
Yes.
And they're booting him out next year.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
We've been trying to figure out
We can't wrap our heads around this.
what
at all.
idiot came up with this idea.
And when the writer's strike was going on, and he had no writers.
He was brilliant.
And he was still beating
And
Letterman.
he had no guests. He had like the worst guests you could possibly get. And he was still beating out everyone.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
And they're tossing him out next year.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
And if they don't toss him out, they have to take, armored cars full of money and give it to Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
So
they can't win.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
A nightmare. Well, you've seen him work
Yes.
up close.
Yes.
I mean, what is it about that guy? I mean, it's just the energy never seems to ever leave him. Ever.
Yeah, I guess not.
I mean,
No.
and on his days off, he goes and does stand-up.
Yeah. He just loves it.
He's like, workaholic.
Well, speaking of stand-up,
Yes.
you've got a performance at Caroline's.
There!
He did it.
I knew! That was a good one.
You've got a performance.
That was a good one.
You've got a performance Thursday night, April 3rd at 8 p.m. at Caroline's on Broadway. And it's one performance only that night.
Yes.
That means that you better get your tickets now at carolines.com, or for reservations, call 212-757-4100. And you will have the experience of Gilbert Gottfried up close
And personal.
Very personal.
Yes.
You get right in their faces, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm like Don Rickles. In fact, in the middle of it, I sing, I'm a nice guy. Yeah.
Well, when our friends make their reservations, I would also suggest that you plan on having dinner there. I know I always mention that when I talk about Caroline's, but
You
that's
really
because
like the food.
That's because a lot of people don't understand. They think nightclub food all stinks. It doesn't there. It's good there. They have a good chef. The food there is good.
Yes. And you forgot my other plug.
And what's that other plug?
Well, also in conversation, it's like, hey, how about this war in Iraq? Oh, which reminds me, you've still got that Gilbert Gottfried Dirty Joke DVD.
That's correct. And they can get the Gilbert Gottfried Dirty Joke DVD by going to your website.
Yes, GilbertGottfried.com.
Okay, and that's with 2 T's.
Yes.
Gottfried.
While we're talking about the Al-Qaeda, it just sort of comes up. Yes.
So it's GilbertGottfried.com for the Dirty Joke DVD. That sold pretty well for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's saying they played it on Showtime at one point.
Well,
And see, now, Jay Leno, though, actually is the master of those pretending it's in conversation kind of thing, where it's like,